The good news is that we're still running that promo is because my friend Carlos is having such success at NOLA, and not because of us necessarily, but because a lot of people are going there, enjoying the food and having the great music. So it's just great. If you're not doing anything on Saturday nights in Dallas, just make a plan to go there. It's just absolutely great. Frank, I want to develop another topic here with you for a few minutes, and that's this whole question of censorship. But did we leave anything unsaid about O'Reilly? I want to make sure that I gave you a chance to finish.
Thank you very much. I was going to ask if I could make two quick comments. One of them is the fact that I think that the part of the fear on the part of these corporations stems from the fact that there is indeed a conspiracy between the left and the media. And if they're identified as an enemy of the left, it can show up in news reports, it can show up in commentary, it can show up in everything. So, O'Reilly cannot look to the media for justice. Now, that's one aspect, and I just want to mention one other thing, and that's this. When you look at the universe that is the media, okay, and people who are in the media, whether they're weather people, news readers, commentators, they typically advance themselves by moving from one network or one station to another. You might get out of college, you have a job in a very small market, then you send a tape of yourself to another station in a larger market, and that's the way you move up. Now, Fox News traditionally has been, they are indeed fair and balanced, or have been in the past, but they are the only ones who have exposed the conservative point of view. And if you look at the complaints from many of these people who have cried sexual harassment, it's the fact that, well, Bill O'Reilly was going to help me get ahead, but now he won't. And he harassed me, et cetera, et cetera. I think one of the reasons for that is the fact that if you have been identified with Fox News, you are not going to be able to make the break into the mainstream media. So, therefore, this may be your last chance to make a big buck by extorting it on charges of sexual harassment. I don't know that's the case.
Sure.
But I do know that you look at a Brian Williams, Lion Brian, who literally disgraced himself and the mainstream NBC network, and now he pops up on MSNBC. So there's a lot of mobility. Megyn Kelly is the exception, but there is a lot of mobility among people in the mainstream media, and even opportunities for a comeback. If you screw up badly like Dan Rather did, and you lie, they will bring you back as a commentator, maybe not an anchorman, but a commentator. And that doesn't happen if you're identified as a conservative.
Well, no, I think that's a very good point. I personally, I feel that what Bill O'Reilly should do, as I said a few minutes ago, I think his attorney should actually sue these women and say, I'm going to go after you now. I want you to make your case in a courtroom, because I think up to now they've had the luxury of making allegations. But I think O'Reilly could prove that these allegations have hurt him economically, and I would love to see this get into a courtroom and have a courtroom actually. Again, this is not defending. Apparently, he did have a irresponsible side. I'm not defending that, but I'm simply saying that I can think of other examples where the same feminists who are outraged at Bill O'Reilly, I don't remember any of them demonstrating when Bill Clinton was campaigning for his wife or anything like that. I mean, there seems to be a certain double standard here of who they go after or not. We have a few minutes, and I wanted to bring up one point that we've discussed before, but I think it's really starting to get terrible. And this is the issue. I guess Ann Coulter is the latest example of a conservative. Heather McDonald had the same problem, I guess, recently, the lady who's the author. You have conservative speakers or whatever who go into a campus and the students, or what they call students, throw a fit, they block, they shout, they don't allow the speaker to speak. And I keep asking the question, Frank, where's the administration? Because if I'm paying tuition to go to that college, I think I'm entitled at least the opportunity to attend a presentation that I've paid for or want to attend, number one. And if these are outsiders, if these are people who are coming in to do this, where's the police? Where are the people who are supposed to be protecting us? So that's why I think these universities are making a big mistake. You can disagree with Ann Coulter. I don't always agree with Ann Coulter. That's another example of a person that I don't always agree with her. And there may be some serious challenges to Heather McDonald's book. I mean, these things are, nobody has 100% lock on the truth. But these discussions, I mean, these presentations, if you've got a beef with Heather McDonald, well, bring it up during the presentation. Say, well, Miss O'Donnell, I disagree with your conclusion in the book, but keep it within that framework rather than shutting the lady down. And in some cases, as we saw recently, Frank, they were actually burning cars outside. And, I mean, that to me is chaos, and that does not speak well for the country, Frank.
Well, no, you're absolutely right, Silvio. And, of course, the problem is with the administration that many academic administrations are committed leftists. And they would be among the first. I mean, look at these professors that make ridiculous charges. One of them, some professor just this past week, said that Donald Trump should be hanged. And you've heard other comments. And look at what the universities are doing. Look at these, spaces, safe spaces for people who are outraged by actions of Donald Trump. And the whole deal about white privilege, and that there are certain classes that are not allowing any white people in there. And it's a very, and it's just a big guilt trip, which is totally unjustified. But I think one of the problems is the fact that when you deal with young people or people who are emotionally retarded, if I can say that. And that would include a lot of people in academia, people who are, shall I say, they live in the ivory tower. They live in this world where they do not get into the real world. They don't have to dirty their hands, if you will. They are very susceptible to highly emotionally charged situations. And it's all, oh my gosh, this immigration thing is going to break up families. Oh my Lord, they're going to take the mother away. It's ridiculous. But that's the way the stuff is sold.
But that's what adults are for. I mean, all of us have raised teenagers, and we've all known that, at least in my case, I'm pretty sure it was no different than you, every father has to deal with some of these emotional issues with teenagers who look at things in an emotional fashion or whatever, and you have to sit down with them and say, look, it's a little bit more complicated than that. You got to look at this issue and that. And I think that this is what I was saying, that I feel that the administrators here are really failing the overwhelming majority of students who are paying a tuition and who deserve the right to attend these conferences. Look, I mean, let me put it to you this way. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we spoke about the lady going to Marquette. I can't think of the lady's name right now. It escapes me.
Angela Davis. Yeah.
Angela Davis. And if Angela Davis, if I was a student in Marquette, I have the right not to go or to go. But if I go to watch her speak, I also have the right for certain sensible protection from people who don't want me to listen to her. And that's my whole issue here, that I think as a student who's paying a tuition, you have a right to be protected. And if I sign up to attend a conference and I sit down and a bunch of people come in and they're screaming and they're keeping the speaker from speaking, well, that to me is not just a lack of courtesy. That may very well be, in some cases, breaking the law. Where are the authorities? Where is the police? And that's what disappoints me a great deal, Frank, about these universities, that it seems like, as they say, the insane is running the asylum, or whatever the expression is, and that's not a good thing. That's what the administrators are for. They're the discipline, and they need to be exercising their discipline, Frank. One more thought, then we'll have to go, Frank.
Well, no, I completely agree with you, and I think that when you look at this, and I have never been a proponent of hate crime legislation. I think if you hurt someone, if you commit a crime, you've committed a crime. You can be identified for that and punished for that under the law. But to say, well, this is a hate crime, so we're going to put extra years on your sentence is wrong, because I think if you have freedom of speech, if you have freedom of thought, you're allowed to hate somebody. I am not particularly kindly disposed to Kim Jong-un or whatever little Kimmy's name is today, but that's okay. I'm not going to kill him. If I killed him, I'd be guilty of murder. But because I dislike him and I kill him, does that mean, that I should? It's a worse murder? No, it's just murder. But I think we have really perverted the whole thing when some groups, it's okay to be against. It's okay not to like white people. It's okay not to like males. We institutionalize that kind of insanity. But on the other hand, we protect others.
Yeah, and then we wonder why these people get out of college and cannot find a job.
Right.
with the kind of upbringing they've had. Frank, as always, thank you so much for your time. I really thought about you when I wanted to do a show about O'Reilly, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's just, as always, it's a delight to have you. So let's see what else comes up that makes me call you back. Hopefully not something too drastic, Frank. But it's always a real honor to have you and to hear your points of view, Frank.
Well, it's an honor to be on, and I thank you very much. I love the show, and to you and the audience, God bless, and God take care of our country, because, boy, there's a lot of work to do.
I agree with you 100%. Thanks for your time. Frank Burke, author, businessman, and great friend of our show. Absolutely great friend of our show. Thank you for listening. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas.